Have you ever stared at the ceiling at 3 a.m., that quiet ache in your chest whispering, "Is this all there is? What's my real purpose here?" The room feels heavy with unspoken questions, the clock ticking like a metronome marking time that's slipping away. While outside, the world hums on, people chasing deadlines, scrolling feeds of curated lives that seem so much more vibrant, more meaningful than the routine that's become your days. Work that pays the bills but drains the spirit, leaving you competent yet hollow. Errands that fill the hours but empty the soul, turning potential into obligation. Endless scrolls through highlights that leave you comparing, wondering if your path veered off somewhere, if there's a greater why you're missing in this wild, beautiful, fleeting existence. If that resonates, even a little, that subtle restlessness, the tug of something deeper you can't quite name, know that you're not alone in the wander, not broken or behind. It's the universal nudge toward awakening, the divine GPS recalibrating with gentle insistence, saying, time to tune in, to remember the flame that's always burned within you. We've all felt it in varying shades, that dissatisfaction lingering like morning mist over a still lake, hinting at a path untaken. A version of yourself more alive, more aligned, more impactful, where joy isn't a rare visitor, but a constant companion. It's the soul's quiet rebellion against the smallness we've accepted, the what if that echoes in moments of stillness, urging you to rise, to claim the space you're meant to occupy. Wayne Dyer knew this terrain intimately, walking it himself from a childhood marked by struggle. Absent father, modest means, the weight of proving worth in a world that often overlooked him, to a life of profound purpose, illuminating for millions the way from confusion to clarity, from doubt's fog to the bright dawn of self-creation. He didn't discover purpose in some mountaintop epiphany or through rigid formulas. He lived it as a daily unfolding, teaching with that warm, fatherly wisdom that purpose isn't a distant prize to chase through endless self-help aisles or 5-year strategic plans, but a flame already lit in the core of your being, waiting for the right questions to fan it into a full, radiant blaze that warms not just you, but everyone it touches. It's not about unearthing a hidden talent like digging for buried treasure, nor waiting for a lightning bolt sign from the heavens. It's about creating yourself, moment by loving moment, in harmony with the infinite intelligence that flows through all things. The same source that spins galaxies into being, guides rivers to the sea, and beats steadily in your chest right now. Today, over this full hour of shared exploration, we're delving into his 4 transformative questions to unlock it now, not tomorrow when the stars finally align or life feels ready and polished, but right here, in this breath, in the sacred space between these words and your listening heart, where possibility hums like a tuning fork. These aren't mere intellectual exercises or quick quizzes to check off and forget. They're soul stirrings, profound invitations designed to cut through the noise of doubt, distraction, and daily demands, peeling back the layers of shoulds and fears to reveal your unique gift to the world, the exquisite intersection of your deepest joy and the universe's quiet longings. We'll move slowly through each one, lingering with the tenderness it deserves, sharing stories from the heart, mine woven with echoes of Dyer's life and perhaps stirrings of your own, reflections to ponder like stones smoothed by a river, simple practices to try in the moment, grounding the abstract in the felt, and generous pauses to breathe into what arises, allowing space for your answers to emerge without force. By the end, you'll not only understand purpose as a living, breathing force, dynamic and evolving, you'll feel its pulse in your body, sense its direction in your energy, and step forward with that magnetic sense of ice. This is me. This is why I'm here. This is the path where I shine. Grab a pen and journal if it calls to you, or simply let the words wash over like a gentle rain. Find a quiet corner where the world can wait a while. Breathe deep into the center of your chest, where that H softens to invitation. And let's journey together, one revealing question at a time, with grace and wonder lighting the way. You're here for a reason, held in the vast, compassionate love of it all. Let's uncover it, layer by luminous layer, and watch your world expand. Before we step into the questions themselves, let's ground ourselves in a vivid, heartfelt picture of what purpose truly is, because without this foundation, without feeling its essence in our bones, the answers might scatter like leaves in the wind, beautiful but unrooted, rather than the masterpiece they form when woven together. Imagine purpose like a seed buried in rich, fertile soil, small and unassuming at first glance, its outer shell tough and protective, full of quiet, immense potential coiled within, waiting for the perfect conditions to stir. It's not flashy or demanding from the start. It doesn't burst forth with fanfare or require you to have everything figured out. Instead, it whispers through those fleeting moments of flow, the times when effort dissolves into pure, effortless engagement, when you lose all track of hours because you're so utterly immersed in something that lights you up from the inside out, leaving you with that electric hum of "this is it, this is where I belong." Those glimpses, painting a canvas until the colors sing, teaching a child the wonder of a starry sky, crafting words that untangle a friend's heart. They're not random indulgences or selfish distractions. They're sacred clues, signposts planted by your soul, saying with quiet authority, "Follow this thread. It's the path where you thrive, where your energy multiplies, and where the world, in its subtle ways, receives a gift only you can give." Dyer often spoke of this with such clarity and warmth, drawing from his own life, where purpose emerged not as a sudden revelation, but as a gradual unfolding, a daily commitment to living from your highest self, that elevated state where your actions align seamlessly with source energy, the infinite, loving intelligence that animates the dance of stars across the cosmos, guides rivers inexorably to the welcoming sea, and beats with unwavering rhythm in your chest, even now, in this very moment. Purpose isn't confined to a job title etched on a business card or a checklist of achievements framed on a wall. It's far more alive, more fluid, a unique expression of that universal energy flowing through the particular vessel of you, the exquisite way your innate joys and talents intersect with humanity's quiet cries, creating ripples of good, of healing, of inspiration that echo far beyond the horizon of what you can immediately see or measure. It's active, co-creative in the truest sense. You're not passively finding it like a lost key fumbled under the couch cushions, or waiting for a dramatic sign from the heavens to descend like a spotlight. You're cultivating it with intention, watering it with awareness and curiosity, bathing it in the sunlight of honest reflection until it breaks through the soil of doubt, blooming into a life rich with meaning, fulfillment, and that quiet, unshakable power that comes from knowing, deep in your bones. This is why I'm here. These 4 questions are your gardener's tools, handed down from Dyer's well of wisdom, the spade to dig deep into the soil of your experiences, the water to nourish the tender roots of emerging truths, the light to guide the growth toward its fullest expression. We'll explore each with the curiosity of a child and the patience of an ancient oak, not rushing or pressuring for final answers. There's no single right response, only the truth that emerges uniquely for you, shaped by your life's tapestry. And remember, this isn't a race to some finish line of enlightenment. Pause whenever a question stirs something tender or profound. Let it settle like fine sediment in clear water, revealing patterns you might have overlooked. In my own life, these questions arrived at a crossroads that felt more like a chasm, mid-40s, outwardly successful with accolades and stability, but inwardly hollow, echoing with the question, is this all? The routines had become a comfortable cage, competence a mask for disconnection. Asking them didn't fix everything in a flash of glory, but they shifted the lens irrevocably, revealing purpose as a compass pointing true north, not a rigid destination carved in stone. Feel that invitation settling now, like a warm hand on your shoulder. Place yours on your heart if it feels right. Breathe in the possibility of rediscovery. Exhale the weight of not knowing yet. It's all part of the unfolding. You're safe here, supported by the same boundless force that birthed the stars and calls you home. Ready for question 1. Let's ease in together with open hearts and gentle steps, allowing the answers to rise like dawn over still waters. Question 1, team. What brings you alive? This is where the journey truly begins. The spark that ignites the entire flame. Not the obligations that fill your calendar or the achievements that garner nods of approval, but the activities, the moments, the pursuits that set your heart ablaze with unbridled joy, where time slips away unnoticed in a blur of pure, effortless engagement, leaving you afterward with that electric hum in your veins, that insatiable more. Please, the deep knowing that you've touched something sacred, something that feels uniquely, irrevocably yours. Dyer urged us to start here with this foundational question, because purpose pulses most vibrantly at the intersection of passion and presence. It's where your truest energy flows like a river finding its natural course, where the universe seems to lean in and conspire with you, whispering through synchronicities and subtle signs. Yes, child, this way. Follow the light. Think of it as the golden thread of joy woven subtly through the fabric of your days, often overlooked amid the louder demands of practicality. The hobby you shelve indefinitely for later, because it doesn't come with a paycheck or a promotion. The conversation where hours evaporate as you dive deep with a friend, untangling their dreams with your intuitive ear. The cause or creative calling that stirs your justice bone or artistic fire until you can't not act, can't not pour yourself into it, because holding back feels like dimming your own sun. These aren't mere indulgences to indulge when time allows, fleeting distractions from the real work of life. They're sacred clues, carefully planted signposts from your soul itself, saying with quiet, insistent authority, follow this thread through the maze. It's the path where you don't just survive. You thrive, you expand, you become the fullest expression of who you came here to be. In my life, it was the art of storytelling, crafting words that heal, that awaken, like the ones we're sharing in this very moment. But for years, it lay buried under layers of stable jobs and societal expectations. A flicker dimmed to almost nothing, leaving me outwardly competent but inwardly uninspired, going through motions that felt like wading through molasses. Until one rainy afternoon, alone in a small cabin with nothing but a blank page and a storm raging outside, I sat with this question honestly, without the armor of excuses. What makes me feel most alive, most connected to the pulse of something greater? The answer bubbled up unbidden, like a spring long capped, crafting narratives that guide souls back to their light, whether through writing, speaking, or simply listening with the heart wide open. It wasn't glamorous or immediately lucrative, but it felt true, like slipping into a coat tailored just for me, warm and fitting perfectly. From that spark, clarity snowballed. Podcasts began to form in my mind, writings poured out like rain after drought. And this very channel emerged as a vessel for that aliveness. Pause now in this gentle, unhurried space we've carved together. Take a slow, deep breath in, filling your lungs with the possibility of rediscovery, and exhale any self-doubt that clings like morning dew. Let your mind wander without judgment or hurry, like a leaf floating on a calm stream. What activity, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, brings you alive in this way? Is it losing yourself in the rhythm of painting sunsets that capture emotions words alone can't touch? Or gardening with hands deep in cool soil, coaxing life from the earth with patient wonder? Perhaps it's teaching a child the magic of a starry sky, their eyes wide with awe mirroring your own rekindled joy. Or baking bread whose warmth fills not just the kitchen, but the hearts gathered around the table. Journal it if you have your notebook nearby, or simply name it silently in the quiet of your mind. When I can do this, I come alive because it connects me to high blank. It makes me feel high blank. Feel that spark igniting now, subtle at first like embers stirring, then growing warmer, brighter. That's your purpose seed cracking open its shell. The first tender green shoot, pushing insistently toward the light, announcing, I'm here, ready to grow. Let's linger here a moment longer, allowing the question to unfold its layers, because alive isn't a one-note thrill or fleeting high. It's the deep flow state where self-consciousness fades entirely, where you're fully, joyfully present in the act, and the world feels a little less heavy, a little more enchanted. Reflect on a recent glimpse of this aliveness, no matter how ordinary it seemed at the time. Perhaps it was cooking a meal from scratch, the aromas weaving stories of care and tradition, nourishing body and soul in equal measure, or walking in the woods where worries dissolve into the rustle of leaves and the scent of pine, leaving you renewed, connected to something ancient and vast. What if you wove more of that into the tapestry of your week, treating it not as a luxury, but as essential oxygen for your spirit? Start small, without the weight of overhaul. 15 minutes tomorrow, carved out sacredly. No phone, no interruptions. Just you and that alive, making pursuit, noticing how it shifts your energy, colors the rest of your day with a subtle glow. In Dyer's own words, spoken with that trademark blend of gentleness and fire, passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. It's not selfish indulgence, but the very fuel that propels you toward a life of impact, where your aliveness becomes the world's invitation to awaken. This question, simple as it seems, is revolutionary because it reorients us from external validation. What should I do? To internal truth. What makes me come alive? And in answering, we begin to see how our joys are not isolated, they intersect with others' needs, setting the stage for deeper alignment. Who's with me in this spark? If this question landed like a key turning in a long, locked door, comment below with your alive moment. My alive moment is twin blank. Your fire might just kindle someone else's, creating a chain of awakenings we can't yet see. As the spark glows steady and warm, inviting us onward, we'll build upon it with question 2, where your unique gifts enter the conversation, ready to dance, building on that vital spark of aliveness, where your energy flows like a river, finally finding its natural, unhindered course, after years of dams and detours, we arrive at question 2A. What can you give that the world needs? This question shifts the lens from the intimate of personal joy to the expansive ooh of contribution, reminding us that purpose isn't a solo adventure hoarded like a secret treasure chest locked away for private enjoyment. It's a beautiful alchemy, a sacred exchange where your innate gifts meet humanity's quiet, often unspoken cries, creating something far greater than the sum of its parts, a ripple of healing, inspiration, or simply presence that touches, lives in ways you may never fully witness, but feel deeply in your soul. Dyer called this living from your highest self, that elevated vantage where you identify those talents that come so naturally to you. They feel like breathing or the effortless rise of the sun. Yet to others, they shine like stars guiding through the night, effortless magic that solves puzzles, soothes storms, or ignites forgotten dreams. These gifts aren't accidents of birth or flukes of circumstance. They're your soul's deliberate offerings, wired into the fabric of who you are by the same infinite intelligence that spins galaxies into harmonious order, guides rivers inexorably to the welcoming sea, and beats with unwavering, compassionate rhythm in your chest even now. In this shared moment of reflection, to uncover them, approach with the curiosity of a gentle explorer, not the critic's harsh light. What do people consistently come to you for? Seeking your ear, your hand, your insight, as if drawn by an invisible thread. What compliments surprise you with their persistence? You're so good at making me feel seen in my mess. Or, you always know the right thing to say when words fail everyone else. What flows from you with such ease that you wonder if it's even a talent, dismissing it as just me, while those around you marvel at its impact. In my life, I felt adrift for years in a sea of vague, shoulds and half-hearted pursuits, competent enough to get by, but disconnected from any sense of true offering. Until this question pierced the fog like a lighthouse beam on a stormy night. Turns out, my blend of intuitive insight and compassionate encouragement was a kind of medicine for the lost and weary. Friends sought my ear for clarity amid their chaos. Strangers lingered after chance conversations for that aha spark that shifted their perspective. And even in casual moments, my words seemed to untangle knots others carried alone. It wasn't ego stroking itself. It was evidence, undeniable and humbling. My gift of compassionate wisdom, a balm needed in a world starved for genuine connection, for someone to hold space without fixing or fleeing. Yours. Let's make this question breathe life right now. In the gentle rhythm of this unfolding, breathe in deeply, filling your lungs with the openness of discovery, and exhale any self-doubt that whispers nothing special. Let your mind drift to those moments of quiet praise or repeated requests. What flows from you that lights others up, even subtly? Perhaps it's your empathy, that calms a room thick with tension, turning arguments into understanding. Your knack for seeing patterns and possibilities that solves a team's long-standing puzzle. Your humor that slices through heaviness like sunlight through clouds, leaving laughter in its wake. Or your steady, grounding presence that anchors a family through grief's unpredictable waves. Journal it if your notebook is near, or simply list 3 silently in the quiet of your mind. Don't judge or minimize. Just note with kindness. My gift of key blank shows up when blank, and it serves by a blank. Then, bridge it tenderly to the world's needs. Where does the world cry out for this? In a friend circle lacking hope, a community starved for creativity, a stranger needing a moment of grace. Feel the alignment settling now? Like puzzle pieces clicking into place with a soft, satisfying snap. That's purpose emerging as contribution, where giving becomes a profound receiving, abundance flowing back in forms you can't yet imagine, from deepened bonds to unexpected opportunities that feel like the universe winking. Let's deepen this exploration a touch more, allowing the question to reveal its layers, because gifts often hide in plain sight, disguised as just how I am or downplayed to avoid the vulnerability of standing out, the fear of what if I'm wrong. Reflect on a time when your natural flow impacted someone unexpectedly. Did your words shift their perspective in a conversation that started casual but ended profound? Or your actions ease a burden they carried alone, leaving them lighter, grateful? In Dyer's own journey, his gift of teaching transformed from the structured confines of a classroom into a global river of wisdom, because he saw the world's thirst for spiritual truth, for someone to remind us we're not separate from the divine, but expressions of it. For me, it was a late night call from a listener halfway across the world, who'd found the courage to leave a soul-draining job after one of my stories echoed their own quiet longing. Pure, unexpected gold that affirmed, yes, this is your offering. Practice this in the coming days. Offer one gift unprompted, without expectation. A handwritten note of encouragement tucked into a friend's day. A skill shared freely in a moment of need. A simple act of presence that says, I see you. Notice the exchange, the warmth that returns like an echo, the subtle synchronicity that follows, as if the universe is nodding, well done. Over time, this question reveals purpose as a verb, an ongoing flow of giving that fills you even as it pours out, turning what can I get into what can I give, and in that shift, fulfillment multiplies. Who's your world needing right now in this season of your unfolding? Share in the comments if it feels light and true. My gift is kind blank, serving how? Your offering becomes part of our collective light, a thread in the tapestry we're weaving together. As your gifts begin to shine with newfound clarity, like facets of a crystal catching the sun, we'll flow onward to question 3, where freedom's breath invites us to dream without the chains of how. with your gifts now shimmering like facets of a multifaceted crystal, reflecting and refracting light in all directions, casting rainbows of possibility across the landscape of your inner world. We step gracefully into question 3. What would you do if money weren't an issue? This question arrives like a liberator, a bold, sweeping stroke of the artist's brush that wipes away the accumulating fog of fear, stripping back the heavy layers of survival, mode shoulds, and societal scripts that so often bury our truest callings under mountains of practicality, obligation, and what-ifs. It's a radical permission slip, an invitation to dream from the unfiltered core of your soul, pure, joyous, expansive, without the constant undercurrent of "but how will I pay for it?" or "what will they think?" weighing down every aspiration like an anchor in shallow waters. Dyer wielded this question like a master key forged in the fires of his own transformations, shattering the illusion that purpose must always come wrapped in financial security or fit neatly into conventional molds of success, urging us instead to reconnect with the desires our spirit holds most dear, the activities and visions that make our hearts sing with abandon, regardless of ledger lines or external validations. Imagine it fully, vividly, letting the vision unfold like a scroll in a quiet library. No bills looming like storm clouds on the horizon, darkening your choices with their shadow. No judgments from well-meaning voices, family, friends, that inner critic with its ledger of realism and responsibility, weighing you down like invisible chains. No more the exhausting calculus of risk versus reward, where every dream is measured against a scale of safety and survival. What calls to you then from that place of pure freedom? Would you wander dusty roads in far-off lands, teaching forgotten wisdom to eager hearts gathered under starlit skies? Would you pour endless hours into art that captures the ineffable, the swirl of emotions in a single brushstroke, the harmony of notes that heal what words cannot? Would you build communities where creativity thrives without gatekeepers or gat-crashing doubts, fostering spaces where ideas bloom wild and free? Or perhaps simply wander ancient forests, listening to the earth's quiet counsel in the rustle of leaves and the song of hidden streams, allowing silence to reveal the next chapter. This isn't mere escapism or irresponsible fantasy, it's profound excavation, unearthing the desires your spirit has guarded faithfully, the pursuits that align with your essence beyond the veil of necessity. For me, adrift in a career that checked all the visible boxes: steady income, respect from peers, but starved the soul beneath. This question was a revelation that cut through like dawn's first light piercing the night. If money weren't the master, if security didn't demand my allegiance, I pondered during a solitary hike along a winding trail, the crunch of leaves underfoot mirroring the shedding of old skins. What would rise to meet me? The answer bubbled up unbidden, clear as a mountain stream. crafting stories that awaken and guide, whether through writing that lingers in hearts, speaking that stirs souls to remembrance, or simply holding space for others to find their own voices in the quiet. It wasn't immediately glamorous or lined with gold, but it felt true, like slipping into a coat tailored precisely for my form, warm and fitting without a single pinch. From that liberated vision, clarity snowballed in ways I couldn't have scripted. Podcasts began to form in the fertile soil of my mind. Writings poured out like rain after a long drought. And this very channel emerged as a vessel for that unbridled aliveness, a bridge between my inner world and yours. Yours. Let's invite this question to breathe fully now in the unhurried rhythm of this unfolding space. Close your eyes if you're in a safe, quiet place, or simply soften your gaze and let the world blur at the edges. Breathe 3 times slowly, deeply, releasing the buts and hows that crowd in like uninvited guests, exhaling the weight of practicality until your inner landscape feels vast and open. Envision that boundless life with all your senses alive. Wake to the aroma of fresh coffee and the soft light filtering through curtains. What pulls you from bed with eagerness? Spend your days immersed in what? The rhythm of creation, the flow of teaching, the quiet study of ancient texts, or the bold exploration of new horizons. Evenings unfolding into what? Conversations that weave souls together, solitary reflections under a canopy of stars, or hands shaping something tangible from the intangible. Journal it vividly if your notebook calls, or simply hold the images in your mind's eye, free from money's grip, from the tyranny of musts. I'd blank because it fills me with blank. It connects me to blank. Feel the liberation washing over you now, like wings unfolding after long confinement in a too small cage, the air crisp and full of promise. That's your soul's blueprint emerging, raw and radiant, unapologetic in its truth. Let's explore the depths of this question a touch more, allowing it to reveal not just the dreams, but the shadows they cast, the fears it stirs up, like whispers of irresponsibility, or selfishness, or what about the people who depend on me? These are the ego's last, desperate stands, protecting the familiar status quo with all its safe but stifling routines. Dyer faced them head on in his own pivotal shift from the structured world of academia. With its tenured security and predictable rhythms, to the uncharted waters of authorship and speaking, choosing the voice of his soul over the comfort of convention, birthing legacies, books that have touched millions, talks that have shifted paradigms, that outlast any paycheck or pension. In my own unfolding, it meant walking away from the safe job with its steady salary and predictable praise, stepping into the unknown of creative calling. Terrifying in the leap, yes, with nights of second guessing and days of doubt. But the aliveness since, the synchronicities that followed like faithful companions, the quiet fulfillment that no amount of security could buy. Worth every trembling step, every moment of faith over fear. Practice this freedom in the coming days, starting small to build the muscle. Carve out one free hour this week for that dream pursuit without guilt or apology. No phone to distract, no inner critic to judge, just immersion. Noticing how it shifts your energy, colors the edges of your ordinary day with a subtle, persistent glow. Over time, this question dissolves the hold of scarcity's grip, making purpose practical in the most unexpected ways. Opportunities arise unbidden, collaborations form as if by magic. Resources flow when the vision is clear and the heart is committed. What's bubbling up for you in this liberated space? That first pull from the depths. Comment your dream do below if it feels true and light. If money didn't matter, I'd hide blank. Your vision might just mirror the missing piece in someone else's puzzle, creating a chain of inspirations we can't yet see, but will feel in the collective shift. As freedom's breath fills your sails, carrying us forward with renewed vigor. Question 4 awaits, ready to weave it all together with love's golden, unbreakable thread. Finally, the harmonious crescendo of our exploration, the point where the individual notes resolve into a symphony of profound unity. Question 4. How can you align this with love and service? Here, the scattered pieces of your inner landscape, the spark of aliveness from question 1, the shimmering gifts from question 2, the liberated dreams from question 3, converge in a sacred dance, infused with the warmth of heart-centered compassion, transforming what was once a personal whisper into a force that benefits the whole, creating ripples of light, healing, and possibility in a world often dimmed by disconnection, doubt, and division. Dyer's genius, his enduring gift to us all, lay in this elegant integration. Purpose reaches its fullest, most resonant expression not in isolation or self-focused pursuit, but in harmony, where your unique expression serves something greater than the self, love acting as the compass that guides every step, every decision, every offering with unerring grace. It's the so what that elevates the personal to the universal. The how can this light another's path that turns your joy into a beacon, alive in the flow of teaching or creating, gifted with empathy that soothes or insight that clarifies, dreaming of mentoring hearts or building bridges of understanding. Align them now. Guide the lost with compassionate wisdom that honors their pace, turning your inner fire into lanterns for those navigating their own fog. This isn't about grand, heroic gestures reserved for the bold or the blessed. It's the quiet devotion of daily life, the handwritten note of encouragement slipped into a friend's day like a secret sunrise, the skill shared freely in a moment of need that empowers another to step into their own power. The simple act of presence that says, I see you, I hear you, you're not alone, in a fractured conversation, healing what words alone cannot. For me, synthesizing these answers birthed this very space we're sharing. The storytelling that brings me alive. Question wanting. The intuitive encouragement that's my gift. Question 2. The free creation of guiding journeys without constraint. Question 3. All aligned in service through love. Awakening you, dear listener, to your own light, one word, one reflection, one breath at a time. Holding space for your unfolding as my own heart expands in the giving. Yours? Let's synthesize it now. In this tender culmination, allowing the answers to weave themselves like threads on a loom guided by unseen hands. Gather your notes or recollections from the previous questions. My aliveness is ka-blank. My gift, ha-blank. My free dream, hum-blank. Now, bridge them with love's gentle hand. I align this through service by how it touches others. With what heart? Speak it aloud if you can. Let the words form in the air like a vow. My purpose is high alive F's gift its la dream through high love service, specific and heartfelt. Feel the resonance now, like a chord struck true on a finely tuned instrument, vibrating through your core with a hum that says ice. This is home. That's it. Purpose unlocked, alive and breathing, ready to unfold in ways both small and vast. Practice this alignment in the coming days, starting with tenderness. Affirm your synthesized purpose morning and night, letting it settle like dew on petals, then act in one small way. A loving service offered without tally, like volunteering an hour to listen without fixing, sharing a talent that eases another's burden, or simply showing up with open arms for a moment that calls for it. Notice the feedback loop, the way joy amplifies in the exchange. Synchronicities sparkling like fireflies in the dusk as the universe nods, well done. Keep flowing. Reflect deeper on this weaving, because alignment asks for a beautiful surrender, letting go of the first mentality that scarcity breeds, stepping into rise, where your fulfillment is intertwined with the whole, but oh, how it returns tenfold in depths of meaning you couldn't have planned. Dyer aligned his gift of teaching with the world's thirst for spiritual truth, birthing movements from quiet questions asked in living rooms and lecture halls, legacies that continue to awaken long after his voice fell silent. In my path, it meant opening this channel not for acclaim, but for service through vulnerability. Readers' breakthroughs, shared in letters or comments, becoming mirrors of my own growth. A reminder that giving from love multiplies the light. Over weeks, months, this question refines itself like a river carving canyons. Revisit it as life evolves, seasons shift, allowing purpose to flow adaptively yet true to its core, a living current rather than a static monument. You're the vessel now, love's conduit in human form, ready to pour and be poured into. What's your aligned purpose emerging in this moment? That unique blend taking shape. Comment it below if the heart bids. Mine is ka-blank. We're co-creating a tapestry of callings here, each thread strengthening the whole. As harmony hums through us like a shared song, the journey circles back to its beginning, ready to close with integration's embrace. Friends, we've delved deep and true into this sacred hour of exploration. From the intimate spark of aliveness that sets your unique flame dancing, to the shimmering gifts that beg to be offered like stars to a night sky, the liberated dreams that unfold when fear's chains fall away, and the harmonious alignment with love and service that weaves it all into a life of profound, resonant meaning. Dyer's 4 questions have served as our faithful companions, lanterns illuminating the path from confusion's fog to purpose's clear, unwavering dawn, revealing that purpose isn't a riddle to solve in isolation or a distant goal to strain toward. It's a life to live fully, created in each conscious choice, each act of generous service, each breath of courageous yes to the call within. You've asked, you've reflected, you've perhaps glimpsed or fully felt the flame that's always burned steady in your core. Purpose as a living, breathing force, dynamic and evolving, inviting you to tend it daily with the same care you'd give a cherished garden. Carry these questions like trusted allies in your pocket, ready to pull out in moments of drift or decision. What brings you alive, fanning that inner fire? What gift can you give, meeting the world's needs with open hands? What would you do if money's shadow lifted, dreaming from freedom's vast horizon? How to align it all with love's guiding light, serving the whole with heart-led grace. Revisit them in quiet mornings over coffee, in evening reflections under stars, letting them evolve with you as seasons turn and insights deepen. In the spirit of Dyer, with his warm smile and unyielding faith, remember this: you're here to shine, to contribute your one irreplaceable light to the grand, interconnected mosaic of existence, where no piece is too small, no offering too humble, each one essential, each one eternal. If this stirred your soul, fanned your inner flame to new heights, smash that like button to honor the awakening blooming within you. Subscribe for more journeys into the heart of being and becoming, and comment below your top question's answer. +1 aligned step you're taking today, whether it's a small act of service or a moment carved for aliveness. Share this exploration with a friend adrift in their own sea of what now, lost in the routines that dim their light. Your nudge, your shared spark, could be the compass that turns their ship toward home. You're not alone in this unfolding. We're walking the path of purpose together, step by luminous, interconnected step, our lights mingling to illuminate what one flame alone might miss. Namaste, and go forth from here. Create yourself boldly, beautifully, with love as your guide. The world awaits your unique song. Sing it fully. See you on the path, shining.